So this will be the last part of this module, right? So we'll be talking about offline and private Gen AI use. So basically, we can have the option to download the pre-trained model in our machine, and then when we don't have access to the internet, or we have some sensitive data that we don't want to send it to somewhere else, right? We can run it locally, right? So for that, we'll be using a tool called Olama, right? So the sorry. So if you go back to the Notion page, right, this link, bit.ly/module 3 2025. If we scroll down a bit, there's a complete installation guide as Olama offline Gen AI, right? So if you go here, we can see the hardware requirements, what's recommended, and all. So if we have a Windows system, we can follow these steps, right? And then for Mac OS, it's also available there, right? I've not included the Linux installation. If there's any issues with that, please let me know. I can help with that. So we don't have much time for this part, so I would like to quickly go through it, right? So so if we want to see like what type of models that we can install here, let's just go to the page that's linked to, this is the Olama page, right? What models are there available? So they have this DeepSeek R1, right? So if you go inside this, you can see all the versions that's available to download, right? So here you can see DeepSeek R1 latest, that's sized of 5.2 GB. So if you have enough space, you can use this one, right? If not, there are other models, right, such as Gemma 3N, Gemma 3, Quen 3. All the models that are available are listed here, and depending on how much size you have, you can use those. So this Nomic is only 274 MB. So so if the size is less, then the accuracy may be also not that good, right? So yeah. So another thing that we can do is, for example, we have a very big model. We can host this somewhere, and then we can SSH this this hosting server, right? And then we can use the Gen AI for our private use. So that's also an option. Okay. So yeah. So I'd like to quickly go through it. So yeah, these are the hardware requirements. All the steps are given here. It's pretty easy to install by yourself. So like I said in the like we mentioned in the slide, the minimum in the pre-survey form, the minimum requirement is 8 GB RAM, right? And maybe 10 GB of storage for a small model. Okay, and then yeah. So let's go to how it actually works. So once you already do all the installations and all, you can simply run the command called olama list, right? So if you do this, then you can see like there's a model called Llama 3.2 latest, right? This one is available locally in my machine. This was installed 4 weeks ago. The size is 2 GB, right? So if you want to install another one, then you can simply do so you go here to the Olama website, right? And then copy this one, the model name, right? And then you do Olama pull and then the model name. And then if you have enough storage in your machine, it should download and you can start using it, right? Okay, so I'll use just Llama 3.2 for now. So after you install the DeepSeek one, it should show you like I have Llama 3.2 latest another one should also show up after I install DeepSeek. It should say Llama and DeepSeek, two of them, right? So after that, we simply run the command as ollama run and the model name. That's Llama 3.2 latest, right? And once you do this, the LLM is basically up and running, right? So let's say I would like to take the prompt from the slides. So maybe, yeah, let's say this one. So just paste and then hit enter. So it gives us the possible skeleton for a paper on automatic code deployment using AI in Springer format. So the downside of this tool is that it's all terminal based. There's no graphical interface or anything, right? So everything that's generated is in the terminal, and it can generate only text, no images or anything, right? So yeah, I think so yeah, we can see that without much resource use. So this Llama 3.2 was only 2 GB. So maybe if we don't want to share our sensitive information with the online model, we can use this, right? Because the informations are not being sent anywhere online. So that's a good thing. But the downside is, since it's a small model, it may not be accurate. Yes. So likewise, we can also, if you have enough storage, then you can always try the DeepSeek R1 with 671 billion parameters. That's 404 gigabytes in size. So it's big, but it's still an option to, if you have enough storage, you can still download it and then run it. Yeah. So so the installation guide is pretty simple. If you have any questions, yeah, sure.
So we installed some yes Olama and RAG RAG. It's another type, but sometimes what's your recommendation according to the engine, either DeepSeek, Qwen, or ChatGPT? Sorry, either the recommendation between DeepSeek, Qwen, ChatGPT, maybe Gemini or Llama, because for example, DeepSeek it tends to give reasoning, a lot of reasoning. It takes a lot of token.
Right.
While in Qwen, based on our experience so far, Qwen is quite good compared to GPT and DeepSeek. But I want to see what's your opinion and experience. Thank you.
All right. So thank you for the question. But like the thing is, like since these are like resource constraint, right? It's quite so 2 GB model is not going to, we cannot expect much from it. So having to maybe download a huge model, that's also not possible in a local machine. So I think the safest approach is to verify all the models online. But if you really want to try a offline model, then you can try maybe with smaller models first, and then check if the outputs are aligning with what you're expecting, and then move forward with that model.
Yes, that's good point and basic point. So you couldn't run in your laptop, but basically at least you need a PC or our server.
Right.
Do you have any experience to fine tune? Although, for example, using only 2 billion, but you fine tune using your local, local information. Because either we provide vectorize using a RAG approach, we can do the fine tuning also.
Right. But the thing with Olama is you're not going to train your model.
No,
You're or
Olama is just for running the
for running the
model. But
pre-trained model, right?
there is another library I forgot. That you can fine tune, retrain according to your data,
Mm-hmm.
and then provide it. Maybe I don't know for your research purpose.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Right. So yeah, sure. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Subhas from Android. So I think he was mentioning about Hugging Face type.
No, Flora.
Okay.
We can fine tune use in Hugging Face,
Yeah.
but it's not enough. Kaggle they provide a better cognitive also, but maybe I don't know. I'm not trying yet, but my colleagues tried it. So given for example, Quen 2 billion, and then we sorry. So using an application or using a library called Clora, we can try to fine tuning, providing our local data, and then so that the the purpose of LLM is that we can interact and the source of information according to our feeding data.
So actually there is fine tuning method. It's called LoRa.
Yeah, LoRa, Clora.
And Clora.
Yeah.
So Clora is actually a quantized model.
Yeah.
So instead of storing a single parameter in 32 floating point,
Yes.
it install in, I think 8-bit, right? So
Yes.
it reduced the size by 4. So you can do it that way, and you can use any wrapper, just
Yeah.
like Hugging Face.
Yeah.
Olama doesn't allow us to
Oh.
retrain or fine tune and upload there.
So Olama, you couldn't use our fine-tuned version in Olama?
Yeah, no, I don't
Okay.
think so.
Thank
So
you.
in Hugging Face, you can just add it. So
Yes.
I would like to suggest 2 more things for Suel, I think. So we are installing Olama in our local system. I think that's a bit risky. So I suggest you to use Docker.
Okay.
So
Yes.
you use the Docker container and just expose a single port. And another is there is a tool or framework called Flowwise AI.
Yes.
So you can search.
CICT.
So it's basically a drag and drop LLM application. So you just install it Flowwise in a Docker and connect it to the another Docker in running the Olama, Hugging Face, or whatever. In that way, you can generate a UI. There is a web-based UI in Flowwise.
Yes.
It's written in
It's open
JavaScript.
source.
I think it's not in Python or anything. So you can just deploy it and drag and drop different models. So we are going to our more like a agentic framework. So you can instantly create multiple agents, and I
Yes.
think anyone can understand the UI and the workflow process.
Yes.
So it's easy that as I'm from Android, so what I will do is like I will create a Flowwise UI, connect to the Hugging Face. Sometimes I do fine tuning or not.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. And then I create multiple agents for customer support. I'll create a customer
Okay.
support mentioning his role, and another is like executive or whatever, engineering side, security, and that. So if I give any query, the LLM from this era, or I mean like the recent development, it can call functions like tool calling agents. So if we pass the functions description,
Yes.
so the LLM will itself use his knowledge and track or use the tools and extract knowledge.
Okay. So it's similar to ViewShot. Well,
Yeah, it's not a few sort.
Yeah.
Few sort is like giving
Some-
example and like expecting the similar response.
yes.
So that's a different thing. But you just describe, how can I explain it? Suppose I'm giving you some Chinese words, maybe
Yes.
you won't understand. Like, but if you have a knowledge that Google can understand it,
Ah, okay.
right, so you'll use Google.
Google.
So yeah, that's how it works.
Okay.
So he will have a knowledge that what tool he has and what it can do, and the LLM itself will use the tool and
Yeah.
give the result.
Okay. Thank you. So mix put the connection between the function to the LLM.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just like web search when we want to activate. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It was a very good discussion. Thank you. So the idea is for this one was because Olama itself provides an application, right? So it's instead of starting to create a container and deploying it in Docker and all those things, we simply chose to for this session we chose to use Olama since it's like already available there, and then yeah. So hopefully it was any more questions on this? Okay. So yeah, I think yeah. Hopefully this was this information was helpful for everyone here. Yeah, I think that's all from my side. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, we comes to the very last module of today, and how are you? Fine, still fine, right? Still fine and survive and not so tired. Okay, for this last module, I will be pretty brief because it's still, but it's very important as well. The last but not least, right? That we talk about application using generative AI in the academic setting to enhance teaching and learning, to support students, and to even assist us in research work, and so on. There are still ethical issues. There are still concerns, and there are also the governance and the policy part that we perhaps need to emphasize. Okay. Then let me, okay, this is the last one already. And so what we are going to discuss first will be about Gen AI policies in research and education. What have been addressed, what have been defined or discussed already. And of course, it may not be final, still even more detailed, even more rigorous, even more, some maybe a little bit relaxed. We still need to wait and see, but of course, we could be part of the initiative, the persons, the body, to initiate possible responsible use and ethical use of generative AI within our institution, within our country, within our community, and so on. This will be the very important thing. Okay, still under us, okay, when it is not yet defined that much, I think it's also our responsibility to help make it in the right shape, the right direction. So the first is on the research and education. So I will be discussing two categories or two things here. First, about academic publications. We talked just before, right, about using generative AI to support some research process and so on. But to what extent is acceptable, to what extent we should not do, and to what extent we also need to promote the right way of using to our students, to our next generation people. Okay, that is also very important. Then in the education part with our students, I have been discussing with many of us here, and many of us are from universities, whether we're teaching, we're supervising, or we do some other roles, but I think we can still enforce this together. So common policies that we might look as of now from publishers, okay, from well-known publishers. Here are key things that we extracted. First, ChatGPT, because it's the very first tool that people use, right? But not only ChatGPT or AI tools should not be listed as authors or co-authors. I think in the very first year of ChatGPT time, right? Somebody even said that, okay, because we use ChatGPT to help us generate some content or draft some writing or rewrite our paper somehow in terms of grammar, English, and so on, can we just add it as author? Even people remember that time, right? 2019, 20, and so on. But the final things as of now, no. Because based on publishers, Elsevier, Springer, and very many more, they want human entity, as we discussed, somebody that are legal entity. Then when there are accountability, there are things that is mistakenly written. When there are things that need some responsibility on the content that has been that has been submitted and published, who will be the responsible authority? A person. A person. Yes, human. ChatGPT just generate and go, right? Even reproducing will not be generating the same result, so no. So the first thing is no. Second, do not use AI generated image or video in the manuscript at all. Okay, I have the parentheses with exceptions because based on the publishers' guidelines and so on, they said that exceptions could be accepted but has to be discussed and with approval of the editor of the journal that you want to publish with. So that means whatever tools that we might have seen here in our discussion presentation slides, I use a lot, but this is my presentation just to make it nice, for motivating, for getting attraction, discussion, and using for example purpose. All these images that I said it right away, if actually I click on the note, I put as a note that what is the prompt that I use for generating all of these images and from which tool, during which date, which version, then it's clear that they are Gen AI generated. These presentation slides are fine. I have never submitted any article with Gen AI generated image diagram. So the napkin AI, I'm sorry, you cannot use it for journal submission. You can use if they don't know and they don't spot it, but do not do if later on they spot it, it may be an issue because it's written clearly. But also there are exceptions. What are exceptions that could be? Suppose that your research is about comparison or comparison about impact, about human acceptance, about this and that related to Gen AI generated image. Then you need to, of course, publish that image, that this image has been generated by Gen AI and has been used as part of the research because of these research questions and so on that you want to study, right? Then fine. Then in that case, you can include that Gen AI generated image in your publication based on that purpose, but not because that I want to generate this diagram, I want to have this photo of a student in the class, of a human user doing some, using some system in a university, for example. No, you really need a real image that has the clear of copyright issues as well. Because as of now, it's still very unclear about copyright issues of those images generated by Gen AI. The same for the videos as well. Okay. The next thing, oh sorry. The next important thing is that disclosure of AI usage, okay, is required. There would be sections that it has to be disclosed as part of your journal article. At the very end, or look at your journal instruction, okay, submission instruction, and so on. It will be there. How would you disclose the usage? And some examples are here. Okay, this is already for each of the case. I already have some, even certain excerpted text from the website. This is from Elsevier. Okay. With the link, with the excerpted text that is written there. This one is about the images and video generated by Gen AI, right? This is from Springer, okay, the Nature. And, oh, okay. Images and video, and this is also the one that about the review process. We already mentioned, right? Reviewer are strictly prohibited by the use of Gen AI to assist you in reviewing. If you accept to review a work, you can have sub-reviewer. That is clear, right? We have our past sub-reviewer. We ask our colleagues, we ask our PhD researcher in our lab and so on to assist on reviewing, but never generative AI. So it says that, why it is so? First, uploading a paper that you receive as a reviewer to a Gen AI, you violate certain terms already, right? You should not upload it. That's a very important thing. Second, Gen AI may have a hallucination and accuracy problem, right? So the result of the review, editors and journal publishers say that we choose to request you as reviewer because we believe in your expertise, expert quality knowledge in that area. If actually you use Gen AI, perhaps I don't need you, right? I can do the Gen AI myself. I don't need you to prompt the Gen AI for me, right? If I am the editor, why do I need to recruit some reviewer so that the reviewer recruit the Gen AI later on? I can bypass that step, right? So no, do not. Don't let them bypass us, right? Then keep ourselves important in the process. If later on I feel that, then I can do this step myself, I don't need you, then that is not good, right? Okay. What else? Yes. Disclosure of Gen AI, yes, is required. Now, many guidelines in many publishers have said and stated this very explicit. That is, for example, using generative AI for spelling and grammar checks, okay, are clearly fine. And using them for improving English writing in most cases are also fine. But beyond that, it's still not allowed, such as, okay, if we use for rewriting and paraphrasing, fine, but not for writing. Rewriting and writing is not the same, right? So ask ChatGPT, hey, write me the abstract of this paper. This is the title of my paper. This is the body of my paper. I still need the abstract. That is really content generation, is not rewriting. It's entirely generated. Don't do, okay? So during the preparation of, this is an example of how it is properly done as given by the publisher itself. During the preparation of this work, the author used Copilot, Microsoft, in parentheses, to reword and rephrase text. After using this tool and service, the author reviewed and edited the content as needed and take full responsibility for the content of the publication. This is what they need. Okay, that is what they may want as a kind of confirmation, verification from the author. This one example took from, if you follow this citation, it will go to, this is from for SciDirect, Elsevier. And during, okay, another example, this one, because there's no standard text because different authors may use them different way, right? But anyway, the context is that during the preparation of this work, the author used ChatGPT, OpenAI, to enhance readability and language, aiding in formulating and structuring the content. After using the tool, the authors review and edited the content, take full responsibility again. Again, everything is back to who is responsible for the content. That is what the publisher wants, right? Once it is published, when something is wrong and the publisher gets problem, they will consult the author. The author cannot say that, oh, it's because of ChatGPT. Then the other has to has a disclaimer, has a statement, right, saying that he has reviewed. And everything, if it is wrong, is under the responsibility of the authors because he has reviewed and verified and agree with the suggested content. Okay, what else? Yeah, this is Grammarly. The other one is said that Grammarly has been used together with, okay, that one has a reviewer, literature review tool, SciSpace, okay, and elicit. Okay, 3 tools. Grammarly seems to be fine. SciSpace and elicit, these are literature review related tools, okay, search tool. For searching relevant literature, author also confirmed to review, to edit, and took full responsibility and so on. Okay, the other one to the right, this is pretty long because it has detail related to using the SciSpace for this and that and even share the prompt. This one, the author put it a very long one. Okay. I think sometimes actually get our work accepted in a journal is already hard, right? So if it has to be rejected later on because we don't disclose the usage properly, that would be a sad story. So better that would need to include everything transparently from the beginning and discuss with the journal editor if it has been used and whether it has been fine, acceptable, okay. Yeah, so yes, this is the conclusion, right? That starting from 2023, 2024, and even more will come regarding usage of Gen AI in publication. Still, in terms of disclosure, the usage, and this is still evolving. Many universities also, in the past, before the Gen AI time, we strictly discuss about Turnitin, similarity score, authenticate, whatever tools we use in terms of plagiarism detection. That was a big thing in the past, still the big thing now, right? But it's not the biggest threat as of now, plagiarism. Plagiarism will not be there. Gen AI can refresh everything. So plagiarism will not be an issue. But I think AI writing is more on the issue. So several universities that I have been discussing with, I mean professors from many universities in Europe, in Asia, in Japan, in India, and so on, there are strict thresholds for generative AI writing score. And tools such as Turnitin, right? It has the AI detection score. I think more and more of the regulations about what are acceptable score on this will be, we will see more. It's still under the process of making this as a regulation of universities or something like that. I believe so. Okay. And yeah, if it is unclear, confirm directly with the journal editors. Okay. What about in classroom? Generative AI usage in classroom. I think it actually has to be first based on the institution. If the institution has open policy, because of course we cannot now, right, say that, hey, students, no generative AI at all. So after finishing the graduation or undergrad study or whatever level, they are perhaps far behind our other friends in the same generation. But what is going to be effective ways and efficient way, the balanced way, I think this has to be properly discussed and defined by the institution and also by the course instructor, okay, in a proper way. So in many universities, for students, as I said, we should adopt similar way as publishers. We allow you to use for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, what are allowed cases? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they are under this, it's fine. And also disclosure would be a must. Also answer what are the, also, I mean, attach or give as well what are the prompts used by the students, right? And all the details of the submitted work should be sole responsible of the students. They have to, we should do the same. I have been using this generative AI tool to assist me in doing this assignment, but have been learning, studying, practicing, and understanding everything that the generative AI suggested to me, and I'm very clear now. Fine, right? Then if it is fine to you, then fine to the student too. So define this from the beginning. What assignment you allow? What assignment you still want students to learn by themselves? Because there are competency we want students to have. I'm sure that there are certain classes that we want to make sure the student has their own ability to do some skills, right? Some knowledge. Not that once you can prompt ChatGPT, that is fine. I don't think so, right? There are still minimum things that you want. Seek instructor permission if required. Okay, this is an example from Tokyo Tech. Treat unattributed AI attribute as academic dishonesty. When used, but not attributing, not disclose the usage, is considered cheating, right? It's the same. It's the same as copying work from others and you don't say. Using Gen AI to generate works, then and don't say it's the same thing. Okay, recommended usage. Yes, in many universities say that ideation, brainstorming, language polishing are acceptable. Personal tutoring, as we already discussed, right? Create custom GPT gems so that it can be our learning partner. Why not? Okay, learn together, be a tutor, ask me critical questions so that I prepare for exam. Fine, this is the way to promote the right way of using Gen AI, not to ask the prompt and get the answer to submit to the professor. Done. That should not be. I see my students smiling, very big. Okay, per competency development, yes, use it and should understand pros and cons of Gen AI, train proper usage. Conduct training. Don't make it like you find your way, okay? It's not like police and thief, right? Promote the correct usage, correct way of using by proper training and proper policy and, yes, communication. This will be the best thing. Apply critical evaluation, fact-checking. Yes, as I said, many universities that I discuss with and work with, for example, in several of the European Union partnering countries, partnering universities, they allow usage, but they also ask what prompt should we use, and if it is not correct, what prompt should we use in order to resolve it, fix it. So it's a way of course, the knowledge, understanding foundation knowledge, that is one thing, and using generative AI properly for problem solving is another skill, right? Foundation knowledge, that is one outcome that you may want to ensure the students have with them. Using generative AI as a tool for problem solving in their academic life, in their career life, that is also a very important skill that we want to equip our students. Yes, that is, as I said, craft effective prompts. That is where they develop the competency, okay, and try to promote. And these slides, list, okay, is taken with reference from this paper. Okay, you can follow the link to this paper, which is the paper on universities' policies on generative AI, a survey paper. It integrates survey, explore 30 Asian universities, okay, and present a scoping review of policy development regarding generative AI in these top universities in Asia. And next, of course, when we talk about policy and governance, as higher education research institute and maybe public sector, how generative AI can be used to support this policy and governance. Okay, I try to explore a few recent publications in this area to understand that in public sector, are there any notable publications or discussion related to using generative AI? Because, for example, in those organization, as NGO, as government of countries and so on, are they okay to use generative AI in order to assist human capability? Okay, so I found these three interesting articles. First one, Gen AI for Next Gen Governments. This is from PricewaterhouseCoopers. And it's open, public one, so you can follow the link and download it because it's a lot. I use Notebook LM to help me summarize some key contents as well. The second one is Research Snapshot from Australia University of New South Wales, Future of Generative AI in Policy Work. Okay, this is also a project report of this conducted at this university. Okay, and the last one is Policy Making in the Era of AI. Okay, from Institute for Government Organization in the UK. So these three articles have been integrated into some key highlights, some key ideas about how generative AI can be used to support policies. And they all of them support in the direction that we can apply usage of LLM-based model in order to do certain policy-related work, which include, yes, policy making process and enhancing efficiency, okay, such as in terms of obtaining certain insight, strategic insight, and generate idea. Sometimes making policy, right, we need to listen a lot. We need to think of new ways to improve the citizen, or it depends on the policy of what organization. May not need to be only that just the government, right? Policy of a university is also a policy, right? But we need to also get some idea. So idea generation would be a very useful start that generative AI could help with. Also, evidence analysis and information retrieval, because of the vast knowledge that generative AI may collect and base itself from. So certain knowledge, evidence analysis, information retrieval from the vast source could be easily and fast using these tools and technique. Drafting, initiating, drafting, outlining certain documentation would be a case as well. Some administrative work operation that make the operation faster. This is also possible, right? Also, finding some problem, assess certain impact, okay? The next is to facilitate better governance and citizen outcome by providing sometimes. Have you found some of us that something like legal document? Have you read some laws, legal documents? Sometimes it's hard in the language that maybe not for everyone, right? If you don't study laws. And if we also find it's hard, somebody also, even, I mean, it depends on from which profession, could also find it hard as well. So providing certain, policy translation into some way that is easy to understand, that will encourage, it's called encourage removing information asymmetry. So making the information accessible to everyone in the way that easier for these different people, okay? Hyper-personalized services such as personalized learning, personalized healthcare, personalized services, and so on, okay? Improve citizen engagement, okay? There are many ways that Gen AI can support policies, augment human expertise. Again, every article try to highlight that generative AI can only augment, cannot replace. Because by the end, right, there must be accountability at the end and verification of whatever that is generated. Risk, again, same risk will be there, such as all those concerns of biases, because it's based on data that has been trained, which may not be complete and inclusive of everyone. So the suggested policy, idea, and so on may be only focusing on some targets. So this has to be very careful, okay? Suggested idea may ignore some groups, some people, some parts. And risk, yes, human oversight is always needed. Trust building, capacity building, workforce development, data and compute infrastructure, yes. Challenges would be that this infrastructure is not cheap. So in order to have it, it requires investment. It requires the infrastructure of data and compute infrastructure, right? So it could be a challenge. That how can we make sure that we have this for, if we talk about government, okay, country or university or institution, yes, that means it requires certain resources. Okay, yeah, bias, this and that, these are also the key issues that we need to make sure before we make, in order to ensure responsible adoption. Okay, accuracy and bias, lack of nuance and context. As I said, data is unbalanced for the trained data. So some detail, some small groups may not be properly addressed based on the unbalanced data that has been used. Okay, data privacy. Okay, workforce impact. Cost and return on investment, this is also very important, right? The investment is huge for sure, but whether return or not is not sure. Environmental impact, training the model by itself already, everyone already discussed, right? Governance and regulatory ambiguity and so on. So these are, anyway. So I would like to end my session that we need to make sure that we involve a good integration and blend of human expertise and the technology in the very balanced and ethical way. Okay, that will be, I think, the end of my session. And I would welcome, of course, if there would be any discussion issue or suggestions from your experience and your view as well. So thank you very much, everyone. And as I mentioned, I will mention this first, and then I will open for the discussion session, Q&A, and so on. But as I mentioned, the train of the trainer, okay, we will continue for another 30 minutes. For those who are interested in this opportunity, the certificate will be given to those who pass the test. But the test is just things that we discuss. Okay, it's not like wow, Cisco certified network, CCNA, this and that, and so on. It's not that thing, and it's kind of very friendly just to discuss about education, Gen AI, ethics, and research, and this and that, and what could be proper usage, what could be used, what should be, something like this. Okay, and this certification has no implication. Is in an honor to all of you that you pass, and with a kind of request that when possible, please conduct a kind of a host, a kind of training to your peers, to your colleagues in your institution, so that proper usage and effective usage of generative AI to promote better outcome in education academic would be there in your institution and country. So that's all. Thank you. Any yes, please.
So, sorry. There's one concern policy for the personal tutoring in education. Normally the problem is not the AI usage, but the file upload. So in the file upload or course material upload, that will be the concern about the privacy data. Thank you.
I do, yes, uploading some file. Let me see. Where is my file? I do have, for example, ChatGPT subscription. Okay. Suppose that I go with my setting. Where is it? Different. Okay, here. With the ChatGPT settings, right? I believe it's here. Security, data controls, yes. You click on setting of your account, and then the data control submenu somewhere here. There is this pop-up talking about model improvement. If it is on, that means every file content prompt that you upload will be used for model training. But of course, there could be a bit even more than this as well, right? But this is the very first step you need to take when you use all these tools, that it allows you to opt out from your data upload usage and whatever or not. That is the first step that you may want to turn on, turn off, okay? Even the free version, I think you can turn it off too. For Notebook LM, Notebook LM, I did not.
Sorry to cut. But the concern is not this one, but when you upload the file, you move. For example, you download, you just buy a PDF, ebook, and then you upload in the GPT. So you copy the file to the GPT server. I think that's more like the concern.
Okay.
Whether
it's used and stored or not.
Like copy to other friends, something like this.
Okay. So if actually your file is confidential, copying it to another machine is also should be careful, right? Yeah. So if it is a confidential file, or if it has some privacy data and so on, you need to be very careful. If not, of course, it's up to you to make some decision, and also using local private Gen AI would be a choice as well. But the knowledge will not be updated according to other models. Yes.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I think it was very fruitful. So we discussed about biasness and hallucination of LLM, and we also discussed a few LLMs in your presentation. So I would like to ask, based on your experience, which model is like more suitable for the academic applications? So which model do you use often?
Frankly speaking, I did not make a comparative analysis in terms of the tools. I use in terms of to support me to do some of the work, but not some of the basic work and some intelligent work sometimes, ideation, getting some idea quick, getting some answers to some, I mean, nowadays, right, if you subscribe to some paid version already, sometimes there are choices. Sometimes I use Google to search for some answer on something I don't know. Sometimes just use ChatGPT or this Gen AI to get the answer on some question I don't know. So these are choices. It's like another option of using search engine to find something or not. But it depends. I still use both a lot because I want to read the real original knowledge and content. From my experience, I use only ChatGPT and Gemini, not very extensively try very many things. Because I will do if it is part of the, for example, some research study that I want to do some comparative analysis on certain capability, efficiency study, accuracy study. I think that could be, there could be some existing study to follow as well, but I did not yet. So most of the case in terms of credible academic usage, if it is ideation, idea generation, and so on, and brainstorming, and quick question on something. Since I subscribe to ChatGPT, I most of the time use ChatGPT and Gemini, these two things. If it is related to research, literature review, I usually use Perplexity sometimes and Scopus AI in order to start with some search seed, get some papers to read, and follow some of the AI researcher groups discussion, so that as we discuss sometimes what are new research things and trend or even products. Sometimes in academia, we are a bit slow in terms of products and tools. But I do have groups of friends in business. They are very fast. Oh, here, that we have already AI agents launched this new model. Even sometimes people, even the Storm, Stanford Storm, I got it from the group of business people in the community of AI in the business. They know about Storm, that, oh wow, Stanford has released this one as a kind of prototype that returns kind of reading result in a Wikipedia style writing, and so on. And the same for Notebook LM. Sometimes, need to subscribe and follow a few things. But yes, I did not, to answer you, I did not try so many of these GPT tools. There are too many to follow. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Yes, I think we need to move on for our train of the trainer, but we still can chat and have conversation afterward. So how can we launch this? How can we send an email, or how do we do this quiz, test, whatever, launching? Okay, can we, those who are interested in the train of the trainer session, please go to this URL. It will direct you to Google quiz form, Google form for quiz. Okay. There'll be 30, a little bit more than 30 questions. And I think within 30 minutes we should be fine. bit.ly/trackb-gen AI.
So we cannot use any AI, right?
Probably not. Then I will give the certificate to your ChatGPT.